YouTube Zam, it's your boy Zell back with another bang in this video. Daniel Dubois rips Alexander Usyk. He says, I'll be the man to stop him. Let's get it. Usyk was in an interview talking um about Usyk, I believe. And he said a lot, right? You know, these guys they had a historic fight, I believe, in Poland. I think the fight was at. Um, where they both, landed some big shots. You know, some people say Daniel Dubois stopped Usyk with a body shot. Other people call it a low blow. And Dubois got his orbital bone broken, and he took a knee and never got back up. So it was a very interesting fight, and I think Dubois won't see him again for undisputed. He said a fight between himself and Usyk is the biggest fight in the world. He says, I'll be the man to stop him. I just see it. Fight news coming soon. He said the Usyk fight would be just like the Joshua fight, but way bigger. The biggest fight in the world. And there's revenge there as well. Um, so he says the Usyk fight for undisputed will create history. That would be a massive historic event. So I do agree it's gonna be a huge event. I agree it's gonna be a huge event. But I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know how likely it is for him to stop Usyk. All right. If I was Dubois and I fought Usyk, I would throw that same shot I threw at him the first fight. I would throw that every round. I'm gonna keep punching him in his stomach as hard as I can. Because one thing I noticed about Ukrainian or Uzbek or a lot of these Russian or Eastern European, type of fighters is they have very long torsos. You know, that's the thing with a lot of Europeans, or if you want to say white people, but even Michael Phelps, right? He's probably the most decorated Olympic swimmer ever. Part of what makes him so gifted is because he's very tall, but he has short limbs for his height, but he got a very long torso. You might notice that with a lot of African guys, or some people might call them black, with a lot of African guys, they have very long limbs and they have a shorter torso, right? Which is why a guy like Usain Bolt and why some of the best sprinters in the world are usually of African descent, right? Whether they be Jamaican, whether they be African, East African, West African, American. Usually, the best sprinters in the world have African descent. No matter which part of the world they live in, they have African ancestry. And the reason I say that is because you could tell a lot of these guys, even if you check some of the best African American boxers in the world, Terrence Crawford got extremely long arms for his height. Jerron Ennis got long arms for his height. Devin Haney got long arms for his height. The only two elite of African fighters, like top of the top, that don't have extremely long arms for their height is Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis. Outside of them, most African American fighters have long wingspans, and most European fighters have long torsos, right? And if I'm Daniel Dubois, even if we saw Devin Haney against Lomachenko, he won that fight with a simple shovel hook to the body, a right hook to the body against Lomachenko. That's how Devin Haney beat him, or a body uppercut to the kidney, right? That's how he beat Lomachenko, cause Lomachenko would circle. I think if he would have threw the left hook to the body, it would have been devastating too, right? If I was Devin, Devin Haney said, I don't even want to hit his face. I want to hit him in his body, and that's what he was doing. But that's how you beat a lot of these guys. That's how Andre Ward beat what's the guy's name? What's that guy's name that Andre Ward beat, bro? What's his name? Sergey Kovalev, right? He beat Sergey Kovalev with a lot of body shots. That's how Shakur stopped Josh Padley. That's how Devin Haney was beating up Lomachenko, and that's how Daniel Dubois hurt Alexander Usyk, right? A lot of these European fighters are weak to the belly, right? Um, very weak to the stomach because they got long tummies, right? That's why that's why Usyk pull his shorts up so high because he got a long torso. If he didn't pull his shorts up that high, you would see how long his torso is, and it would be free pickings, right? So at the end of the day, if I'm Daniel Dubois, I would spam right and left hooks to his body and try to hurt him. We know Usyk gonna try to circle out to Daniel Dubois' left side so he could get away from that right hand. But if I'm Dubois, I'm throwing my left hook to the body every time, trying to hurt this dude, um, trying to keep him in front of me. And if I'm Usyk, I'm circling to his left side and making his right hand useless, right? So it's a lot of different ways this fight can go. Um, Daniel Dubois, if he get hurt, he can't afford to quit this time because people say he quit last time. He got a broken orbital bone. He quit. He can't afford to quit, right? If he fight Usyk and if his orbital bone if it gets broken, he got to fight through it, and he can't quit. It's for undisputed. So we know both guys gonna put everything they got on the line. Usyk not trying to lose his pound for pound kingship. Um, and Dubois trying to get that get back, and I respect it. That's what good fighters do. They return the crime to the crime scene and they get their get back. You hear me? So yeah, this is an interesting fight. Like I said, Usyk body is suspect. You know, if he get hurt to the body again, I don't want to hear people crying low blow. You feel me? And if I'm Dubois, I'm trying to hurt him again. You feel me? So let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe, and share this. Hit the post notification bell so you get notified every time I drop. Till next time, man.